I've ordered a new set of in-ear monitors. Decided to buy this just because there was a sale on Lazada recently. It's also available on Amazon. I will probably share some links on where you can order them from the YouTube comments. The biggest difference that you have for an in-ear monitor is that it has many small speakers. That's one way to improve the sound quality. One of the reasons why I like good sound, and it makes a big difference for me, especially if I have to do calls every day. I'm using a Sony over-ear right now, and over-ear is good and it works fine, but I need something lighter. I need something practical. I would want to know how it feels personally, if I can recommend it to some of my friends who also take long calls. I don't like Bluetooth headsets because you have to charge them. What we will go over today is the hardware. We'll review the hardware and then we'll review the sound quality. Here is what's included in the box. Of course, the package itself. I like this. KZ is not really a popular brand, but they have like 3 models that I was looking at. This seems like the most practical one for me, simply because it has a mic. L-shape. You want to know if the tip is something that will last long. Some people prefer L-shaped, gold-tipped. The edge doesn't seem like it is that sturdy. The cable, it has a rubber and like a matte, dry feeling. Not something I'm a fan of. There is a 1 button for calls and all of that. The mic is also here. Where it separates, a little bit sturdy. The thickness from here and here is also not the same. One of the reasons why I don't like over ear and on ear is just because of the size. I don't want to bring that much. Just to be practical, I'm already bringing a laptop to work, so I prefer, something light, something I can carry easy. I have some tips here. Let's take a look at them. Okay, I use small ear tips. Let's see how easy it is to remove. Oh, that's pretty easy. Okay, these are foam tips. Okay, there's a single tunnel out. Most IEMs, you can remove this in case the wire goes bad. So unfortunately, I don't think that's the case here. One of the things that people look at on the foams is how fast they go back. So there's an indicator here if it's left or right. I don't know if you can see it. This one says right here, and it's red, and blue is left. Okay, so the gold tip here has an indicator, right and left. Okay, so the cord doesn't look very flimsy. The tip seems like it's a bit sturdy. That seems okay. It seems like it will last for a year. It feels like it will last for a year. It's about 2 of my arm's length. So this design goes over the ear, so that's gonna take up some of that, and it doesn't come with a case. A thing with the in-ear monitors is they're used to block out noise outside, so you can appreciate music more. I want to do this just because sometimes it's very noisy on our floor. I have not removed it ever since I put it. The compliant tips that come with it are like pretty good. Remember I mentioned earlier that it's a bit grippy. Having a magnetic way to attach it to my laptop while I'm taking calls would be a lot easier. Something I would want to have. Some clips would help. So comfort-wise, it's pretty comfortable. The in-ear monitor itself. I do get distracted sometimes because it hits the back of my ear. Yeah, so the L shape is working fine for me. I think I like when I have it on the phone and I plug it into my pocket, put my phone in my pocket. So that's pretty good. So these weights keep the cord in place and make sure it doesn't like go over your ear. In terms of the length of the cord, it's okay. It's the standard one. You would have some sort of leverage for you to put up and put down the mic. So that's where the grippiness part of it does help. I've been listening to it, so how I assess this, I got some flax, just some yoshioka. I think that the sound is okay. So one of the main reasons why I did say like this is because it can take, it's for voice, it's for calls. That's what I'm going to use it for. So what the decision for, selecting the IEM for you would just really be around your use case for it. And if I'm going to use it for calls, I need the mids to be good. It helps that it can take more mids. So that's a consideration for me. In terms of the highs, these IEMs don't have a lot of. They have like 2 tweeters, I think.
to take care of the hive. But really, the problem I have is I feel like they're a bit broken. So the base isn't that good for this type. But for my use case, it's gonna work. Would I recommend it? So I got it at around 800 pesos. So I got it off a discount. So I think I will like this design, just because of its price point, of the way I got it. But if I probably got it for something more expensive, its original price around 2,000, 3,000, depending on if there's no sale. So if that's the case, I probably won't be willing to pay for it. But in my use case where I have, I didn't really have a lot of options. Maybe it's something wrong with the tweets on this, on the highs on this model. But I felt some fatigue over time while I'm listening to this. I felt some fatigue. I don't know what it is. It is maybe because of the highs. In terms of the lows, I don't really think like it's that strong. It's very weak. It's clear. It's weak, and the sound stage is like very narrow. Yeah, I think that it's something I would recommend, especially if somebody has been using Bluetooth headsets in our calls and is not really comfortable with it. So yeah. So overall, hardware, I think it's above average. I think it's about an 8 out of 10 for that price point that I got it. I think it will last, like I said, maybe a year. In terms of comfort, I would say it's about 7 or 8, 7.5, something like this. In terms of sound quality and in terms of the mic quality, because I tried using it for a call earlier, it's not any different from what I have from a typical mid-tier phone. All in all, you pretty much got a good bargain for that price point that I got it. If they say, or they're selling it at the regular discount price and just say their previous price higher, then it's probably okay. Thing that you should be noticing and you should be aware of when you're using things like this is safety. I went out of the house, and I think my perception of what's behind me just goes like really black. I think there were like 4 or 5 vehicles that almost and had to honk their horns just when I was beside me. So don't use this when you're traveling. This is not a sports type of thing that you would want to wear. This is like noise isolated. If you want to try something new for your music experience, it's worth trying. They're a bit at entry point. So that's all. Thank you all for listening. Have a great day.